This, my friends, is, I think, the weirdest drink I've ever seen. Look, if you look closely, it's like a dark jungle. It's like a Tarzan kind of jungle in there. It's filled with these strange herbs and grasses. Looking at it, I'm not sure if I really want to drink it, frankly. This is really, it's kind of terrifying, but it's good. And not only that, good news. I just finished and pushed go on the latest edition of Poetry and Purpose, which I think looks really good. There's a story in there about how to write a scene. There are 3 essays, political essays about the Palestinian-Israeli war. There's Astrid contributed kind of a funny story about her learning to sing in a choir and what it gives her soul to sing in a choir. There's a story called Create Yourself, how we create ourselves. I think that life is an act of self-creation. And there's some jokes. So check it out. It's on Substack. Substack, I think, .com.et Hansen or something like that. The name of it is Poetry and Purpose. Look at this. It's a jungle in here. It really is a jungle. Look at that. I just opened up a package beginning of this week, Monday or Tuesday, and there it was. I'll tell you what it is. It's from a friend of mine on Mallorca. They make it themselves. I think it's called Herbe de Mallorca. And I guess there are 7 herbs in it. Mallorcan herbs, if I understood this correctly, but I may be forgetting what they told me originally, because I didn't expect them to send this to me. Is there bay leaves in there? I think there's bay leaves in there. Oh man, it looks like something in a coral reef. Okay, so I'm going to try it out. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's a bitter. Oh. Strong. It's a strong bitter. Okay, let's see. Folks, Jo and Suzanne, Prost. Whoa. No. Oh, that's really good. It's got it's got like a dryness, and then after there comes a punch afterwards. It's really good. Okay, so Jo and Suzanne, you didn't have to do this. Thank you very much. It was so nice, celebrating your birthday, hanging around for a couple of days on there, and your Gastfreundschaft, your hospitality was so wonderful. Thanks so much, and thanks for this. Oh, and by the way, when I was down there, we were celebrating Joe's birthday, right? So, and he's Belgian, but he's lived in Germany all this time, and he's basically German. But his family's is kind of like from Belgium, Germany, and kind of mixed. And so we sat around and we talked about this and that. It was great sitting around, just talking, eating, and at one point during the evening, we got into a joke battle. And they told each other jokes which were kind of slightly, anti-German. The Germans took the brunt of the joke, and then the Belgians took the brunt of the joke. And I did a little video about it. I retold the jokes on a video, which is on Poetry and Purpose. And it's right here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to cut it right into this video. So I'm going to add it right now to this drinking Herbe de Mallorca video. That tastes like nothing you've ever tasted before. Okay, so keep watching. You will see the Great German-Belgian Joke Battle, and check out Poetry and Purpose. It's new out right tonight. It's on Substack, substack.com.et Hansen, I think. Poetry and Purpose. Check it out.
A couple of weeks ago, Astrid and I were at a birthday party, a friend of ours, and he's Belgian, but he's lived most of his life in Germany. A lot of his family, some of them come from Belgium, some of them come from Germany, and whenever people get together like that, you got to discuss what language are you going to speak. We ended up speaking a lot of English, and it was a lot of fun. And I love these kind of international gatherings because they don't get into this kind of national discussion that is only valid in Germany or in America. And instead, they branch out into things that are more international and more personal. At some point, of course, the German-Belgian thing had to come out. And so at some point, someone said, I got a joke for you. And of course, it was an anti-German joke. And the joke goes, how do Germans open an oyster? Okay, how do they open an oyster? And then she banged on the table and said, Aufmachen! Open up! The Germans love the joke, of course, and they are capable of laughing at themselves, but they weren't to be outdone. They came up with an anti-Dutch joke. In our discussions, the Dutch and the Belgian were sometimes two different people, but sometimes they were the same people. It's like a steady back and forth between these two countries and how they think of each other and themselves. But anyway, it was an anti-Dutch joke pointed at the Belgians. And to understand the joke, you have to know that the Dutch are considered to be stingy, much like the Scots are in the English language world. So the joke is, the Dutch are so stingy that the first line in the Dutch cookbook about how to cook an egg starts with, first, borrow an egg. And the Belgians laughed also, but it wasn't over. One Belgian said, okay, I got one. He set the scene. World War I, trench warfare. Belgians and the Germans are across from each other. There's only a few meters separating their trenches, and they've been in these trenches for weeks, not getting anywhere, not moving forward, not moving backward. So the Belgians come up with a plan. They say, what's the most common German name? And someone said, Miller. So they yelled out over the trenches, hey, Miller, is that you? And immediately, a German guy jumped to attention, clicked his heels together, and said, Jawohl! And they shot him down. And they did this again the next day. Jawohl! And the next day. And the next day. Jawohl! 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 So the Germans said to themselves, okay, what's a common Belgian name? And someone said, George. They yelled over the trenches. George! George! Is that you? And on the Belgian side, George said, it's me. Is that you, Miller? And Miller jumped up, clicked his heels together, and said, Jawohl! After that, the little joke battle ended, but I'm not sure if it was because the Belgians won or because the Germans just ran out of jokes.